Yo, what is going on, guys? The SSN back again with another video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you're having a great day so far. So this is our post-game analysis, our review of the game against the Jets. Obviously, the Dolphins won 20-3 against the Jets, who fall to 0-11, one of 18 teams in NFL history to ever go 0-11 to start a season. Makes me happy, for sure, and I'm sure a lot of you guys as well as Dolphins fans, but that's not to say that we don't have some things to talk about regarding this game and the Dolphins' performance. So first things first, like I said, Dolphins win 20-3. We improve to 7-4, and we win the game. So, we're moving in the direction of starting to win again. We lost, obviously, last week against the Broncos. It broke our win streak, and now we take the game against the Jets. So obviously that's a good sign. We need to win games, and we need to keep improving and keep going. We've got games coming up in the next couple of weeks that are going to, our schedule is just going to start getting tougher and tougher. I think we've got Cincinnati next week, and then we play Las Vegas, and then we play Buffalo, and then we play the Patriots, and we still play the Chiefs. So we've got a lot of tough games ahead of us. So we need to start locking in. We need to start finding our rhythm. We need to start finding our groove. So the way that we won this game today, it was just an odd way to win the game. I think, obviously it's good to win the game, and I'm happy that we won, and I'm glad we're 7-4. I'm glad that we're pushing towards the top of the division and closer to, a wild card berth and all that. That's great, but there are things to talk about. There are struggles that this team needs to figure out. First things first, we have to figure out some sort of way to establish a rushing game. We've got to, because if we can't establish a running game against the Jets, that means we're not going to be able to establish it against the Bills, against the Patriots, against the Chiefs, against the Raiders, against really anybody, because the Jets are the worst team in the league. We have to establish a rushing game. We haven't been able to do that all year, so I would be surprised if we're able to just magically do it all of a sudden this year against the better teams that we have, that we're facing soon. But we have to figure out a way to establish a running game, because if we can't do that, the passing game is going to suffer. The play action game is going to suffer. The offense as, a whole is just not going to be as complete. It's going to be much more predictable. So we've got to figure out how to establish a running game. It just opens up the offense to be much more creative, much more diverse. We can do more with the ball if we're able to at least run the ball a little bit. Now, obviously, Myles Gaskin was out. Obviously, we have injuries, and that's not anything that anyone can control right now. But we've got to figure something out, whether that's drafting a running back, signing one in free agency. We've got to do something to have a consistent rushing attack against whoever we play. Secondly, defensively, we have to stop the run. Now, that's kind of just opposite of what we're doing offensively. We can't run the ball, and we can't stop the run. And I can't figure that one out, considering how much we've paid our defensive line, considering, on paper, the talent that we have on the defensive line. I mean, Christian Wilkins is a good player. Raekwon Davis has been a pretty good rookie. I mean, he's been a breakout guy. And then the money that we've paid to our edge guys, I would just expect that we would be able to stop the run a little bit, especially moving to a 3-4. 3-4, you really have to rely on your linebackers. If you're moving to a 3-4, you better be confident that your linebackers can do their job. But for whatever reason, guys, we've been struggling to stop the run. And you have someone like Frank Gore putting up, almost 100 yards on us this game. And he's, 30,000 years old? It's just, and with a depleted offensive line in New York against the worst team in the league, we've struggled consistently this season to run the ball. We've struggled consistently to stop the run. And those are two very big things, because you have to control the line of scrimmage. Your defensive line and your offensive line, they have to get the job done, or you're not going to consistently win football games against good or bad teams. No one can be counted out in the NFL. So us winning the game is great, but we still consistently struggle with the things that we've struggled with since week 1 of the NFL season. And that's something that I'm kind of left scratching my head about. I don't really understand why we struggle so hard as we do, just more so stopping the run. Rushing the ball, I can understand it, because we just don't have as much talent. We don't have the best offensive line. So I get that, at least a little bit more. But stopping the run is something we have to be able to do. And then equally, we've got to be able to figure out the inconsistencies in our secondary. We have times where our secondary plays really well. We have times that our secondary plays really bad and blows coverage. So bringing in Igbenogany in the first round, you would think that they throw him in at the slot, and because he's a first-round guy, you're going to want him to obviously produce. But, he's been benched because the beginning of the year was just, so bad. So now we're relying on guys like Nick Needham, who is a below average cornerback in the NFL. He is nothing special. He blows a lot of coverage. And you're relying on safeties like Bobby McCain, who's a free safety, to provide a lot of help, especially in zone. You're just relying on guys who really aren't equipped to slow down the passing game. We've got to figure something out. We really need to figure something out here, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Xavier Howard obviously is a monster, had his 7th interception today, 7 interceptions on the season. That's one really good thing to take away from this game. Xavier Howard has been just so good this season. He will absolutely be an all-pro at the end of this year. He has absolutely earned that. He's been so good this season. He's earning his money. He's on pace to be double-digit interceptions on the season. I can't even tell you how long it's been since someone has recorded double-digit interceptions in an NFL season. He's been a monster. However, opposite of him, Byron Jones is inconsistent, and I don't like to see that. Byron Jones gets beat a lot. Byron Jones got beat a lot by Brashad Perriman today, and that's something that if you're paying a guy that much, if he's your number one cornerback, if he's going to stick to the best receiver, you're going to want him to produce. And Byron Jones has shown a lot of inconsistency this year covering. And that's even on guys who really aren't that good. Brashad Perriman's a average NFL receiver. So that's why we have to stick guys like Xavier Howard on DeAndre Hopkins, we're going to stick him on Tyreek Hill. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of scenarios where Xavier Howard's covering the number one guy because Byron Jones just can't keep up sometimes. And that's a struggle. That's something that I don't like to see. I guess all in all, I'm going on a rant here about the defense. So I'm going to kind of pull it back here. All in all, guys, we won the game, and that's, a good takeaway for it. But it was a sloppy game, and that's something that concerned me. That's something that made me very worried to see is we can't be as sloppy as we were against the worst team in the league. Record-wise, the Jets are the worst team in the league. So you can't be sloppy against a team like that. That should have been a very clean game. Even if we only scored 20 points, it could have been a clean 20 points. Very few turnovers. Not a lot of blown coverages defensively, but it seems like we had a lot of mental lapses, a lot of people blowing coverage, a lot of people just not doing their job today, and then obviously turnovers. It was too sloppy of a game to sit back and say, all right, great, we beat the Jets, we'll move on to next week and we'll be just fine. It was just too sloppy for me to look at it and say, yeah, okay, we're going to move on next week and then the week after that, and we're going to be just fine. We'll clinch a playoff spot, and we'll see the playoffs again. I don't know. It was a really interesting game. Like I said, I'm not trying to come down on Miami. I'm not trying to be negative. We won the game, and that's the most important thing. We won the game, and I'm glad. We're 7-4. It's been a while since I've seen the Dolphins be 7-4, so I'm happy about that. But we've got to clean things up. We've got to find that fire again. We've got to find it. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened, but the way that we played the Rams, the way that we played the Cardinals, that needs to come back because we played with such a fire in our gut. We played with just this raw, explosive energy. That needs to come back. The last 2 weeks, it's just seemed like it's kind of not there, and I can't quite pinpoint why it's not there or what's missing, where it's missing, but there needs to be some sort of inspiration, and maybe bringing Fitzpatrick onto the field and maybe letting him start again could be something that brings that back because he's an absolute, gaslight for this football team. He really pumps them up. So that could be something that really kind of ignites this team's energy again and passion to play super hard every down. So maybe that could be the turning point for the Dolphins. I really don't know, guys, but like I said, first things first, we win the game. We're 7-4. We move on to next week. I believe it's Cincinnati. So, it is what it is. We win the game. Like I said, it's sloppy, but we can clean them up. That's what you have practices for. That's what you sit and film and watch for. That's what you prepare for. So if we can clean it up, if we can go into Cincinnati next week and we can really have a clean game and play well, I'll be satisfied with that. As long as we make steps in the right direction and we figure it out, I'll be satisfied. So, guys, I want you to leave me your thoughts down below. How do you feel about this game? Do you feel the same way? Am I overreacting? Do you think that I'm blowing it out of proportion? I would love to know your guys' thoughts down below. So let me know. We will talk about that for sure. And like I said earlier in the video, guys, if you like the content on the channel, if you enjoy what you see here, definitely subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, excuse me, and leave a like and comment down below. So guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your week. I will be by very shortly for some new stuff coming to the channel, hopefully as we keep progressing towards 1,000 subs. And I've got some content coming out this week for you as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Enjoy your day. And as always, fins up.